Okay, one more lesson, and I'll upload another similar set at a later date. We want to work with functions. What are functions, and how do we work with them? We'd explained functions in some of our previous videos, but we want to re-explain them and explain how they work. So a function, pretty much as we have seen before, it is similar to our main, but we want to see how do we actually create a function. What are the prerequisites for a function, and what can we do with our function? So for example, I can create my first function as int add, and in our function add would need the following. Would need variables that we can work with. So for example, we can say int x and y, where we can then be able to say x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 3, like that. We can then have a printf, and our printf pretty much gives us x plus y equals %d. We'll put a new line, we'll put a comma, x plus y, like that. And then we can put a return type, which we want to be x plus y, like that. So you can see that it pretty much is the same as what we have been doing, although the difference now is this is a predefined function, so the name that we're using now is add. So if we don't have it preset like this, we can't actually use our add to do whatever it is that we want to do. So for example, I can then say add, okay, we call it, as you can see, it then displays the function. If I run it, I'll be able to see the contents of this particular function, which is add, starting from line 4 to about line 10. And I'm seeing the contents of add within my main function. Okay, so that then means I've called my add, and my add gives me that result. So maybe what I can do is also put a printf, and my printf shows that main function like that. And then I can also say before this I can put a printf, and my printf gives me add function, so that we can see a difference between the two. So if I run it, I'll be able to see that the first section is the main function, the next section is our add function. But I can't really see this because I didn't put a new line there. Let me just correct that, and you can see what it gives us. So if I run it, I'll get the following. So it's add function and main function, which pretty much means we are working with the two functions to give a result based on what we would want to be doing. Okay, so that's an example of how our functions pretty much work. So we can say, if we want, we can create a new type of function, and our function does certain things that we hope that it can do. Okay, so let's create another function or another project. My mistake. and with our project we then call it function parameters. Okay, so in this particular instance now we had a function that did not have any parameters whatsoever, so we can actually create a new function. We can create a new function and have it give us parameters or values that we want to work with that we'll be able to see as the function parameters. So let's say we've got a function that contains two different values. Okay, our function, we can call it get name or rather, let's not actually call it get. We call it int function get, like that. We open and we close brackets. We open and we close curly brackets. So that's one thing I forgot to explain in the first instance. The curly brackets will be the same as the ones that we've got in our main function, but we still need to call function get as it is. So we said we want to put parameters. So to put parameters in our function, we also say int x and then character y, like that. Character y for our parameters, and then we want to be able to display what these values are. So because we've put them as parameters there, we can still be able to use them in our values. So we can say the following: we want to print f, and in this particular instance we want to be able to add these values. So please enter age, like that. We put a new line. We have a scanf, and our scanf gets our value, which is %d, and we want to get our x. And then the next one is printf please enter character. Okay, and then this then becomes scanf we've got our percentage C ampersand y, like that. So what this then means, we have entered our values for our x and our y. We can have a printf that shows us what these values are. So we want a new line first of all, and we say the given values are, we also put another new line, and we state x equals %d and y equals %d, sorry, %c. Put a new line, put a comma, x, put a y, and then we put a semicolon. So as it is, if I run it, it will not give me anything because I did not call my printf. So what we can do now, for us to call it, we can then be able to replace printf with function get. So I can copy it and I paste it under printf, and then in the brackets we also now need to have two values. So I can put 6, I can put g, right? Why am I putting them like this? We need two values. It may give us an error because of this G. Let's just run it and see what happens. Yes, the G is not recognized. So I need to put the quotations simply because G is a character. So let's just run it. Okay, enter age 4, enter. Didn't give me the chance to enter a character. Okay, that should be because of the buffer. Let me try and put a space there and see if it will give me the values that I wanted. Yes. So to clear the buffer, you just need to put a space on your scanf so that it can give you the values that you want. So here's what we did. We just did a function called function get, where we want to be able to enter the age and the character and display the values that would have done. So the given values are 7 and J, because that is what we had input in our initial setup. Here ends the lesson. Okay.